Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a brand new 2024 Ford Maverick Lariat with the Tremor package. And today, I'm going to review it for you guys. Does the Tremor package actually add any real off-road prowess to the Maverick, or is it just a collection of strangely placed gold accents and stickers? Well, today, we're going to find out. Starting out up front on this Maverick, as I mentioned in the intro, this is a range-topping Lariat trim, though XLT and XL base model trims are also available. But this Lariat has almost every single option box checked, except a sunroof. I know that's available, but this particular truck doesn't have that feature. It does, however, have the upgraded LED daytime running lights that are incorporated into the headlight housing, and then LED headlights are standard across the board. You'll also get incandescent turn signals. Now, the Tremor package is an upgrade that's a little over $3,000, and it's available on not just the Lariat, but also the XLT. And it does give you more than just gold accenting and some stickers. Up front, you get a much better approach angle than you would on a normal Maverick. You also have a 1-inch lift and better suspension. I do like the gold accents up front though. The tow hooks are cool, and I really like this gold bar that extends through the grille and into the headlight housing. That's a neat look. One thing I don't think is a neat look is the sensor right here on the front of the grille for Ford's safety system says radar ACC, and then it shows a little picture of the truck. I think that's pointless. I think it breaks up the look of the truck a little bit. I don't know why they need to explain what this sensor pad does. I wish it was just flat black plastic like the rest of the front end. I think that would look a little bit better. But overall, I really do think the Maverick is a sharp-looking little truck. Moving underneath the hood in this Tremor, it's powered by Ford's 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder, making 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. And that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Since this is an all-wheel drive model, it does not have that 2.5-liter hybrid engine available. That's only on the front-wheel drive trucks, but hopefully someday that will be able to be paired together. You can get all-wheel drive and that amazing fuel economy. Speaking of fuel economy, this 2-liter is not as good as that hybrid, though it still does have a fairly respectable 23 city, 30 highway, and throughout my time with the truck this week, I averaged a little over 23 miles per gallon. Alpha Shark will be right back after a word from our sponsor. For a lot of us, it's second nature to lock our vehicles when we're done driving, because we love our cars, and locking them is an added layer of security to protect them. But do you have any security to protect your identity? Did you know that online data brokers sell your information to spammers, scammers, and anyone else looking to target you? Your full name, email, home address, your relatives, even your health records. It's all out there. That's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Aura will show you which data brokers are selling your information and automatically submit opt-out requests for you. Cleaning up your information not only helps reduce the amount of spam that you get, but it can also protect you from hackers who could use that information to access your social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Recently, AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records, both existing and former customers, were released on the dark web. They recommend those affected use strong passwords, monitor account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from credit bureaus. But Aura does all of this for you. Best of all, you don't have to worry about downloading all sorts of different apps just because a company couldn't keep your data secure. Aura is always on, always doing the hard work to keep you safe. I value my privacy, and I value yours too. Locking your car is as simple as pressing a button, and so is downloading Aura. You can go to aura.com/alphashark to get started with your 2-week free trial. I'll also leave a link in the description below. And now, back to the video. Moving to the profile of the Maverick, starting here with the wheels and tires, you're going to get Falcon Wild Peak 235 65R tires around these 17-inch wheels with the infamous gold accenting. I think personally, for me, the jury is still out on if I like this or not. I can't tell if I'd want more gold accenting or less gold accenting. Frankly, it might be perfect. But either way, it is a very strange choice. Moving up here, you will have your Lariat badge and then a blacked out mirror cap. These mirrors are power adjusting and they do have blind spot monitoring as well. Then there is keyless entry on the driver and passenger side. Speaking of the key, pretty standard Ford key. Spinning it around, lock, unlock, panic, and remote start, which is nice to see. And then if we pause to look at the doors really quick, there is a sticker. There's 2 stickers, one on the front door, one on the back, that kind of extends right down here near the rocker panel of these black slashes. That sticker is also continued up here on the hood. I forgot to mention that earlier. You get 2 of those. Again, a very unique, interesting looking styling cue. It kind of fades out and then fades in. Some people might really love that, and that might turn some other people off, but it is unique nonetheless. And as we move to the back here, you'll have your Tremor sticker, and then your tailgate right here has a backup camera incorporated into another blacked out Ford logo. And then your tow hitch is down here. Fairly decent towing, but this is a tiny truck, so you don't want to expect a ton here. And then you will have parking sensors incorporated into the back bumper, and it does say Maverick stamped into the tailgate. Dropping, oh, I locked it, so we got to unlock it. That's very nice that it locks with the rest of the truck. Unlocking it, it does not have a dampen where it goes down softly, but I have my pinky finger right here. It is a very light aluminum tailgate. Just wanted to highlight that. And then this does have a spray-in bed liner. Opening this up, you do have a little cubby, and there are some rails right here and a household outlet, which is super nice, and LED lighting. This is a tiny bed. Yes, it's a tiny truck overall, but really, it's not that much shorter than a mid-size truck bed. You really can fit quite a lot in here. I think Ford has done a really good job of making this truck bed very accessible and usable for what you get. And let's be honest, most people aren't using their truck beds to actually haul stuff anyway, so this is pretty useful, all things considered. Moving to the interior of the Maverick, this Lariat has some really nice luxury features. For example, the front seats are stitched with the Tremor logo, they're leather and heated, and the driver's side is power adjusting with power lumbar support. You're also going to get a really nice Bang & Olufsen sound system. I'll talk about some of the other luxury and off-road features in a bit, but I'd like to start here with the door panel. Now, this upper portion of the door panel is blue. That's really cool. You don't see that very often, and I have to admit that I was wrong recently. I filmed a video where I talked about the history of Chevy trucks, and the truck that I used for that video had a blue interior, and I said you don't really see blue interiors on pickup trucks anymore. But here I am in a 2024 Maverick, and at least the upper portion of the dashboard and the doors is blue. So I admit I was wrong. Moving on here, you'll have lock and unlock, your window controls and your mirror controls. And then I'd like to stop quickly and highlight this grab handle. I've mentioned it in the past when I've looked at other Mavericks. I really don't like the design here, because if you're not paying super close attention, you can tend to miss it, and your hand will slide right through. Now the reason that's there is because there's a spot for a giant water bottle right here, and it just makes it easier to put that in. I can't imagine that many people are putting giant water bottles in, but look, I was wrong about the blue interior thing, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe everybody is putting smart water bottles in their door panels, and Ford was like, we gotta meet that demand, and that meant sacrificing this portion of that grab handle. It just takes some getting used to. Then you'll have your lighting controls right there, and then moving over here, the steering wheel is manually tilting and telescoping. Then this is a soft vinyl material, and it is heated here on the Lariat, which is nice to see. And there are a host of buttons on this thing. You'll have your buttons for the radar guided cruise control and some of the safety settings, your volume right here, Bluetooth and channel changing, and then these buttons right here control this center gauge cluster screen. This offers a lot of different things. This, for example, is the calm screen. There's not a lot going on, but you of course can go into your trip, tire pressure, and the intelligent all-wheel drive system. I really like the off-road menu right here because it tells you at what angle the truck is at. As you can see, it's just at 3% right there. And one thing I love is when you turn the steering wheel, if you look at that little steering wheel icon, you can see it's actually turning with this. So it'll tell you at what angle your steering wheel is, which can be helpful if you're not exactly sure where it's turned. So that is neat. That is helpful for off-roading. And then there are some other additional menus in here as well. There are still 2 physical gauges that flank that screen in the Maverick. And continuing on here to your infotainment screen, I do wish that it filled in this entire section, though this comes from the Bronco Sport, and my guess is in the future there will probably be a larger screen available for the Maverick, but you have a little cubby there. Now this infotainment screen is fairly responsive. It does get to things pretty quickly, and as you can see, as I click between the different menus, it will go into different things very fast. So it might not be the largest screen, but it is very responsive. Behind that screen, there is a little cubby for storage, and then that center Bang & Olufsen sound system speaker. And then your hazards are down here. Auto engine start stop is right there, and you do have some physical controls for that screen, which is nice. Moving further down, you will have climate vents, and then your climate control setup with the heated seat buttons and the heated steering wheel button. Then your push button start is actually down here. It's not over here. You'll have a button to open up the power sliding rear window that you get here on this particular trim. And then you'll have USB and USB-C down there. There's a wireless charger right here, and then some more storage on this side. Right here is your shifter. So you put your foot on the brake and you turn that, very similar to Ram. All right, I'm gonna dub over this section in post because my mic falls directly against the climate vent here, so all you can hear is the wind noise. Basically, it's a pretty good backup camera with a nice zoom feature if you're backing up to a trailer, though I do wish this had a 360-degree camera system. If you want to put it in neutral, you spin that again, and you can see the little orange light comes on. Spin it again, and then you're in drive. You're all set to go. And then you can just spin that back to park. And then that will also tell you what gear you're in the center right there. Definitely takes some getting used to, but it's not the worst shifter in the world. Your electronic parking brake is right here, and then your Tremor modes. So if we click this button, you can see normal, tow haul, slippery, mud and ruts, and sand, as well as, nope, then we're back to normal. So that's nice to have those different modes. This is your traction control off button right there. I think that's cool. It's got the tire and then hill descent control. I had to look this button up because it says 4-wheel drive, and then it has a little lock. And I click it, and it'll put 4-wheel drive lock on the screen, but this is all-wheel drive. It doesn't have 4-wheel drive. And after researching it, my best guess at what this button does is it locks the all-wheel drive system so it won't go into front-wheel drive automatically, because how an all-wheel drive system works is it anticipates what wheel needs power, and then that all-wheel drive system kind of kicks in automatically. But if you're off-roading, I believe this four-wheel drive lock button will lock it in that mode. And so it's not a true four-wheel drive system, but it does have that ability. And then you have a rear locker right here, and then this is the auto hold button. So if you're in drive, you can tap this and it'll hold it like you're in park. Then you'll have some more storage down here, cup holders, and opening this center console. You can't see down there, but there isn't much except some storage. There's no USB or anything in there. Then moving up here, it's just a traditional mirror, and you get these nice little LED dome lights and a spot for sunglasses, or any type of glasses really. You could put any glasses you'd like in there. As I mentioned, no sunroof on this model, though it is available. And that pretty much wraps up the front end right here. Moving to the rear seats, there's a decent amount of leg and headroom back here. I'll talk about that in a sec, but first, I'm gonna pull this latch and show you, you get a ton of storage underneath the seats, which is nice. There is a latch to pull the seats forward, though there is not storage back there, just access to some of the components of the truck. Getting inside, I'd say I have probably 3 or 4 inches of legroom and roughly 2 or 3 inches of headroom. I'm 5'9". I fit back here very comfortably in the Maverick. You also get USB-C and USB, as well as a household outlet and a fold-down armrest with cup holders, which is nice. And then it's cool to open this window up as well. It's a very spacious back seat, which is surprising for it being such a small pickup truck. It really does work well. All right, driving the new Maverick. I've honestly had a lot of fun with this. It's very spacious inside, more spacious than I was anticipating, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think it's great because it's such a small truck, but if you want to fit a lot of passengers, it's really able to do that well. And it has pretty decent acceleration. If I lay on it, you can see it picks up. It takes a second, but it picks up. It's not a bad 4-cylinder, and it's very comfortable around corners. I was surprised because this is tuned a little bit more for off-roading. I think Ford's done a great job with this. I'd be very curious to real-world test the 40 mile per gallon Maverick. I haven't had a chance to drive that one yet. During my time with the Maverick this week, I averaged a little over 23 miles per gallon, which is great for a truck, but some of the larger trucks are catching up to that pretty quickly. I anticipate the longer the Maverick is on sale, the more it will steal market share away from the mid-size trucks, because this and the Santa Cruz are really the only compact trucks we have. This being more affordable than a lot of those mid-size trucks, especially in the starting price, I think that really makes the Maverick a formidable opponent in the small truck game, even with the mid-size ones. Before I wrap up this driving segment, I'm gonna drive the Maverick over to a little tiny off-road trail to do an eensy-weensy bit of off-roading with the Tremor package. For the sake of doing at least some light off-roading with this off-road truck, I've brought it to the top of a little logging trail, and it's a fairly steep incline, and there are a lot of ruts in the road. Not the type of road that I would take a sedan down or even some small SUVs, but I'm pretty confident the Maverick will handle this with ease. I am gonna throw it into mud and ruts, and I'm gonna turn on hill descent control just because this is fairly steep, as I said. So starting down it, I'm gonna go slow because Ford has graciously loaned me this Maverick for the week and I don't want to mess anything up. There's a big rut, but this handled it very well. Not the type of road I would go fast down. Even though I don't really have the opportunity to take this fully off-road, and the fact that this Maverick Tremor doesn't have all the off-roading bells and whistles that its larger Ford brothers do, I'm still confident in saying that this would probably be able to get you out of most sticky situations that you find yourself in. Well, that is just about going to wrap up my review of this Ford Maverick. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Before I go, though, I'd like to mention that I'm a Christian, and if you have any prayer requests, I would love to be able to pray for you guys. You can leave those in the comment section below. And lastly, I like to close out with a scriptural reading. This week, I'm in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. "And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care, and remember, no matter what vehicle you drive, I hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well.